Sure.
Joining me now, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, who would know more about what Mike Emanuel was just talking about. Are you close to having some sort of a deal for this short-term funding?
Well, we were hoped to have a deal, but it takes the Democrats to agree with it, and right now they're not. So in the House, we will move today a funding bill for those 6 weeks, but we will take the funding for defense, carry that all the way out to the rest of the year, because it challenges the military for everything that they need to happen. They can't live under another continuing resolution. And we'll send that to the Senate. Because remember what Schumer said during his last Schumer shutdown. He said he did not want to hold the military hostage. This gives our ability to fund the military completely while we figure out the rest of the agreement for everything else.
So you're going to try to pass that today, and then I understand the Democrats, they have their retreat like you had yours last week in West Virginia. So do you expect this to all get worked out tonight?
I sure hope so. I mean, the Democrats are the ones who picked this date to have the continuing resolution come up, because we wanted another week so we could work everything out. But remember, during the shutdown, the only agreement they would change is changing it for a week but keep the same policy.
Well, the other thing is about that previous shutdown is that a lot of the debate was around immigration, and in particular DACA. Take a listen to what the president's chief of staff, John Kelly, just said to the Washington Post about that.
There are 690,000 official DACA registrants, and the president sent over what amounts to be 2.5 times that number, to 1.8 million. The difference between 690 and 1.8 million were the people that some would say were too afraid to sign up, others would say were too lazy to get off their asses, but they didn't sign up.
So one of the things that we understand is that the president, according to John Kelly, is not doesn't want to necessarily have to do an extension for the Dreamers, and that maybe he would let that run out. Do you think that that then brings the Democrats to the table?
I'm not quite sure what brings the Democrats to the table, because what the president laid out there is really a very good compromise. And you know, Dana, how this place works. It's supposed to be based on a compromise. Have border security so we don't have to come back here in another couple of years. He's willing to take care of DACA and all the way to Dreamers. Chain would make sure that we protect the nuclear family when it comes to chain migration. And then look at a merit-based system. Just 4 simple items that I think are common sense to be able to solve the problem. And it seems as though the Democrats haven't come that rest of that way. I will have another meeting in my office today where the chief of staff will be at, and so will Senator Durbin, Congressman Steny Hoyer, and then Senator Cornyn and myself, and the Secretary of Homeland, trying to work out an agreement as we move forward. But I think the president has been very honest and fair in this process. I think the Democrats are going to have to give a little, and we can solve a problem.
I should point out that he also said that even if there is not an extension for Dreamers, that they would not be targeted as a high priority for deportation. Is that your understanding?
That's my understanding. But remember, you also have the court case, the judge's decision. So there's no problem right now, nor going forward at this moment. And that's why it'd be important for us to solve this problem as soon as possible. That's why I don't know why shutting the government down helped. It stopped our meetings. I want to find a productive way to solve this problem once and for all. And most importantly, you don't want to have to come back here in another couple of years. That's why border security is so important.
Before I let you go, I know you've got a busy day ahead of you. I wanted to ask you about not necessarily the Democratic memo, because we know that the president has that now, and the chief of staff says the president will be taking a look at it later today, and we'll see if and when that gets released and in what form. But I wanted to get your sense of how the Republicans have done in trying to separate concern about a couple of bad actors at the FBI and then a wholesale free fall of trust from Republicans about when it comes to the FBI. Like, what is your level of concern with that?
Look, I am a very big supporter of what the FBI has done in the past and in the future. There are some excellent individuals who work there. The problem is there are a couple key individuals that have used their own personal philosophical beliefs that go against the Constitution and the Fourth Amendment. When you look that they used this dossier to go before a FISA court and use it to spy upon American, that goes against the Constitution. They went back 3 separate times and they never told the judge about it. And at the same time, the number 4 at the DOJ, Department of Justice, his own wife was hired by Fusion to work on the Russian portion, and the only people paying and working with the Russians were the Democratic Party, never conveying that to a judge. Now, to me, that raised a big doubt. That's why when our memo was produced, walked through all those documents. We had 3 individuals that have dealt with the FISA court before, especially when it came to John Radcliffe. He's a former U.S. attorney. But what you found in this process is we took our document to the FBI and let them look at it and say, is there anything you want to redact out of this? Unfortunately, the Democrats all voted no for bringing that forward. And when the Democrats brought their memo up, all the Republicans voted yes. They voted yes for both because we believe in transparency, but the Democrats have never taken their document to the FBI. What they did is they shipped it down to the president. That really needs to make sure that those methods of what the FBI uses is not out in the public.
Okay, well, I guess we'll have to see what the Democrats come up with, because I don't have enough time to go back and forth through all of it, because they say that there are some holes there, but also the national security team at the White House will be checking too, so presumably that includes law enforcement and the FBI. All right, House Majority Leader Kevin McCarthy, thank you.
Thank you.